So I still remember that moment after 3 losses when I just felt like there must be something wrong with my body, that my body was broken. It must have been something that I had done. I remember thinking, what if I could never have another baby? And this thought of feeling broken made me feel desperate. I felt desperate to find what the answer was, but also really lost and confused because I had no idea where to start. Should I start with my diet? Should I start with acupuncture? Start with a gynecologist, with an endocrinologist? Should I look into my lifestyle? Should I be dealing with stress better? I had no idea where to start. And so all of this just made me feel stressed and anxious, which of course just makes trying to conceive even harder. So before I go any further, if you are new here, welcome. My name is Bettina. I'm a yoga teacher and I specialize in yoga for fertility, pregnancy, birth, and early motherhood. And the reason that I specialize in these areas is because I've had my own experiences within them. I've had my own struggles with fertility, and I'll link that story below if you want to check that out. And I really just want to share what I've learned and what has helped me, because I know how it feels to be in that place of just not knowing where to start and really not knowing who to talk to even get started on this process. What I really want to talk to you today is why your body is not broken and why that line of thinking is really not helpful and how it can make the whole process work. The first reason is because it puts you in this mindset of feeling like, why bother? And I know for me, when I felt like, well, my body's broken and I can never have another baby, it's really negative and so final. And I just felt like, well, why bother then? Why bother looking after myself? So I stopped eating particularly well. Sometimes I would skip meals because I was just so sad. And I think if you get into this mindset of thinking you're broken and that nothing can be done to fix it, it's really final and doesn't help you to start making better choices. So I think if you can get out of that mindset, you can be in a better place to start bringing some better balance back into your body. Another reason I think you need to change this mindset is because it increases your stress. At least I know it did for me. Because if you're thinking like, there's something wrong with me, it's almost like you want to escape your own body and you're like desperately seeking answers and looking everywhere to try and find out what can help, trying a million different things and just kind of like piling on all these different ideas and ways to try and fix yourself. And I think that's not helpful. Of course, I think you need to look around and find what works for you, but there's a difference between choosing things mindfully and taking them on and making positive changes and doing everything. And I definitely got into that place. At one point, I just was doing everything. I was doing acupuncture, I was doing rebirthing, I was doing a naturopath, I was doing all these different therapies, and I was starting to feel stressed out by them, which is the exact opposite, of course, to what you want when you're trying to conceive. One of the problems with thinking that your body is broken is it's not the right mindset to approach your body when you're thinking about fertility. I think for so long we've been thinking about our bodies like machines. We just keep pushing and working and doing, and we expect that our body is going to keep producing. But really, our body is a natural environment. It's not a machine. It can't keep going day after day. And because we haven't really been honoring our cycles and working with that cyclic energy and knowing that in some stages of the cycle we do have more energy, but in others we really need to rest if we want to be in optimum health. I think that we don't treat our body cyclically, like eating for the seasons, even sleeping and taking enough rest. So I think if we can take this mindset away from feeling like we're broken and instead approach it more as you would a natural environment. So a natural environment is not broken, it can be out of balance. And I think that's a better approach when we're looking at our body for fertility. Instead of thinking, I'm broken, I can't be fixed, how can you bring your body back into better balance? If you are struggling with fertility, it's a big sign that you're out of balance, and there are certain things that you can do to start bringing it back into balance. Obviously, at the forefront of that, I believe, is keeping stress levels down and lower, because stress is the number one thing to send all balance off. So for me, that really helped, really thinking about my body as more of a natural environment, starting to move with my cycles and really respect my cycles, and even just the daily cycles of really taking enough rest can really help. If you're interested in knowing more about cycles, I have a 4-part fertility yoga series where our practices are designed around those cycles. It can be a really nice way to jump into that if that's something that really interests you. And I think the final reason why thinking your body is broken is not helpful is because it really takes the power out of your hands and it puts them in someone else's. If you feel like you're broken, you feel like someone else has to fix you, and you go looking for people to fix you, and you give all of your power away to someone else. But really, when you're struggling with fertility, I think you need to be the number one advocate for your health. So going to a doctor, and whilst taking on board their opinions and their ideas is great, and I think you do need to seek support, but know that what they give you are only options. You're welcome to seek second opinions. And I think this comes up a lot once we get to the IVF stage. You might be presented with all of these options, but you might be pushed towards a certain one. And if you're coming thinking you're broken, you might go and jump into the most invasive cycle that they offer you, instead of really going, okay, I'm not broken, I'm just needing a little bit of help with this. Maybe we could just start on this end of the spectrum. And that can be a better way of moving towards your baby without needing to get into things that are going to cost you a lot of money and things that are going to actually make the balance in your body even worse, which sometimes those sort of IVF cycles, when you jump straight into the far end, can actually do. Which is not me saying that IVF is a bad thing. I definitely don't think that, and it's definitely needed for some women to have their babies. But I just think it's being the number one advocate for your health and not giving away that power because you think your body is broken. If you're thinking instead, my body is out of balance and I need to work to get it back into balance, I just think you're going to be less stressed and more able to look at the right information and to find the right information for you in a way that's not desperate and anxious and constantly seeking. At least that's the way I felt anyway when I was going through this. So I would love to know what you think, whether you've struggled with thinking that your body is broken. Leave me a comment below and let me know. If you would like to practice some fertility yoga with me right now, I have a free fertility yoga guide, so I'll link that one below. And I've also created a class on this very topic where we look at starting to bring some of that trust back into our own body and really moving away from this idea or this feeling that our body is broken. I hope that this video has helped you, and I hope to see you in